So, I went to an Ethiopian restaurant yesterday, okay? And I ordered these Sanbusa, I think that's how you say it. But anyway, it's spelled Sanbussa. And what it is, it's like a fried spicy pastry and it's filled with lentils. They had one with beef, but I tried this one with lentils. I went to a corner store in Oakland, and there was some in there one day, and I tried them, and I like those, and I've been looking for them ever since. So, I'm a Black American. I can say I've never been to a African restaurant throughout my whole life, but I can't even keep track of the amounts of times I have visited a Mexican or a Chinese restaurant throughout my lifetime. Up until last year, which is 2018, I went to a Nigerian restaurant and ate something there. And so here it is, 2019. I went to an Ethiopian restaurant yesterday with my children. And so they had a lot of good stuff. They had like some nachos. Everything was made. You can tell that it was made when I ordered it. It was made right then and there, and it was organic. Like they had a nachos. It was like Ethiopian nachos, but it wasn't tortillas. It was potato chips with salsa and hummus. And the hummus, you could tell, was really fresh and organic. And the salsa too. Everything was. The potato chips was still hot. Like they didn't take them out of a bag and put them on your plate or made them earlier that day. You can tell they had just made it. And the restaurant is down in Oakland off of Grand Avenue, called Ansaro, I think. But it was really good. So anyway, so I went there and I tried the pastry. And when I searched it up online, I just put in Ethiopian spicy pastry puff or spicy lentil Ethiopian puff, something like that I put in. And it came up Sambusa, Sambusa. So I asked my waiter yesterday, I said, how do you pronounce this? And she said Sambusa. And I said, well, when I looked it up online, it says Sambusa, S-A-M. But she said it's S-A-N. She said, well, my grandmother taught me like this. This is how we say it, and this is what it's called. And I was just like, okay. She said Indians call it S-A-M-B-U, Sam with an M, and we call it Sam with an N. But when you Google it, what comes to the top of the list are the Indian base word. Okay. So I have a thought. Of course, you guys like, oh my goodness, here she go again. Yes, I do. Okay. So I have a thought. I said, why is it that everything that has to do with Black or Africans is always underneath someone else, right? Because first of all, we can go back throughout history. Ethiopia was there before any other country existed, right? So we know that. So why is it that their culture, their way of life, people don't even know their language? Like, I just realized what Tigrinya was, and a lot of times a lot of us don't know what it is. We don't speak of it, or, we call it something else. Many people, or don't speak of it at all. But so when I looked up the pastry puff, I was kind of like feeling some type of way. Like, not feeling some type of way, but just thinking, like, it's Google, right? So usually when you look for a word, the English version always pops up first, then the Latin root word, and then it goes from Latin, then it goes to some type of Asian version, Indian version, and then us all at the bottom. So I just wanted to point that out, and I know people are like, well, what are you saying? Well, I'm saying this because I also watched the video last night, and there was a guy on there from Nigeria, and he was just defending how, and you could see the video before this video. It's in black because I was in bed when I ended up talking about it, but He felt like he had to defend the picture with the Prince of Europe or England and his wife being carried by black people around the world, and even if it wasn't in Africa, and I'm kind of irritated, right? Because we all are entitled to our own opinions. But I think that we should get out of this kindergarten, preschool way of viewing life. It is 2019. So you mean to tell me when we talk about life or our perspective in life, we cannot bring up the truth of the matter or the position of blacks in whatever country you live in or abroad, in truth, without you feeling the need to defend another race? So, like I said last night, if you were born after 1920, there is no need for anyone on this earth to defend the fact that all white people are not racist. That's dumb and stupid, and nobody has to do that. You don't have to defend any of all one race to anyone on this earth unless something is mentally wrong with them. Everybody on this earth knows that all of one race is not racist. Like, stop that. That's a waste of breath, it's a waste of time, and it's a waste of energy. Because what you are doing is you are diverting everyone's attention from what needs to be focused on. Okay? No one is trying to arouse hate out of anyone, but they are trying to get them to pay attention. Okay? So no need to defend anyone, honey. That's ridiculous. To even feel the need that you need to defend any of all one race, to say, oh, everybody isn't racist. Duh! Everybody living on this earth has been helped by somebody by another race at some point in time in their life. I don't care where you live in this world. Unless you're up in the mountains somewhere. But even up in the mountains, you got missionaries going in the mountains all around the world. They've been doing it forever, giving people Jesus. And I'm sure now, today, we have Islamic missionaries up in the mountains trying to convert them from Christians to Muslims. Okay, so, and they helping them and feeding them and doing everything that was done before by the evangelists and missionaries. Okay, you don't have to do that. Stay focused, because you defending them doesn't take away the hundreds and thousands of years of the oppression or the black people being made to feel inferior or even looked at as inferior, and better yet, not even looked at, just being deprived of a normal state of life, and then pointing the finger to their leaders. First of all, not like that. Some leaders do know, but majority of leaders don't understand the global economics in Africa, or a lot of African-based or black-based nations. Even a lot of people in black areas in America. I don't know about Europe, but I almost can bet on that too. Even when you're talking about community organizations, representatives, governors, mayors, they a lot of times do not have the mental capacity to wrap their brain around the whole problem. I'm sorry if any of you are offended. I know it's some out there who can. Okay, but most of them are not in positions. But if you're offended, then my bad. But 90% of them are not thinking on the larger scale. A lot of times what we do we come in, we create an organization or a little program to tackle one little specific issue, not thinking about all the things that can counter this one thing of what we're trying to get. Or we come, we're going to do this. And a lot of the things that we work on are based around religion, first of all. Secondly, they are based upon a system. So what we do is we take the European system, and then we like we're going to put it we're going to take it and put it as our own. We're just going to attach a black to it, or African, something. It doesn't work like that. Because what they needed at that time, what they needed and created for where they were in their lives and how their brain works and who they are as a person, is what worked for them. You must keep in mind, we must keep in mind, that when you create something, you have to sit back and look at a people, look at their obstacles, look at their trauma, look at their history, where they came from and what they are dealing with today. You have to look at all the things that are countering who they are. And you have to look at how to create something, a system, a program, a way of life, because that's what it is. Matter of fact, F the systems and the programs. A way of life, a pattern of thinking, a pattern of thought that will help them to get out of that mindset so that they then can dig deep within themselves and pull out what they were created to do. Okay? That's what that's about. So just stop already with the defending other people. If they are offended, oh, the hell well. What you need to do, if you offended, you need to go back, look at them limited history books and textbooks that they got in schools that they teaching your children. Just read those. Okay? You don't even have to dig any deeper. Okay? Just go get your child history book and read it. Better yet, I want you to go around your neighborhood downtown and just take a look. Just look around. I want you to walk outside your village and just look around. Okay? Walk down your street and just look around. Matter of fact, then I want you to look at the ads that pop up on your phone, on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your YouTube. I want you to just pay attention. There is no need to defend someone being outraged at that picture of black people carrying white people. Because what that was a visualization of what they are living. And so it touched them. It hit a nerve. It created an emotional response, which we need not do. But, I understand if you do it. Because it's a lot about here. So I understand. But I want you to get away from the black and white issue to look at the black and everybody issue. Because that's where I want you to look. It's not a black and white issue. It's a black and everybody issue, because everybody was educated underneath this white supremacy ideology, and the white supremacy was birthed outside of blacks, or inside of blacks being inferior to whites, because everybody else was birthed out of them mingling, right? We know that, right? We should know that. We could look at life and see that black and white made almost like every other ethnicity, if you could just look at them, right? Because they all have some type of black and white people. Y'all got your own thing though now, so don't worry about it. Don't be offended, but that's the truth. They were all educated underneath this mindset, underneath this ideology, and a lot of it was birthed out of either jealousy, envy, and hatred for many blacks at one point in time when they were in a position of power. And then once that power had diminished, now it is, we're going to keep them where we think they should be. So the schools and systems and all of these things were created, and it looks good. Of course, on the outside, it's like we've come a long way. We've done a lot of things. Yeah, you have. But ultimately, it is so buried. It's buried very deeply underneath the issues that we face. And it's not in your face, but it's there. And a lot of times you can't see it. So what we do is we fight all these little bitty battles. Little bitty battles, never winning a war. Not even scratching the surface. Because, see, there's an issue. When you sit back and you look at any other race of people, we were all impoverished at the same amount of time. When we was being enslaved, everybody else around the globe was getting a fair issue and a fair share. You know what I'm saying? Every other country around the globe with any amount of melanin, and even those without melanin, eventually they got released. But wherever it was being done, Fast forward, there have been many countries and people who have pulled themselves up out of that mud to where they are building technology and they are helping our global community move forward. Then there are those who are still not even being sustained with normal food and water. I find that ridiculous. That is ridiculous to me. Some of the richest nations on this earth cannot even provide food to their children, to their families, and they sitting up here taking handouts from people. Why? And then you could point to their leaders and say, well, they don't do this. They have corruption. They're bullshit. Bullshit. Because the bottom line is, there are other forces still who are stopping them from getting where they need to be. Because one thing anybody in this world knows, once you take care of the regular, the necessities of life, food and water, any human in a right mind then will sit down and think about, how do I provide for my family to get out of this situation that we are in? Because looking around us, this is not who we are, and we deserve more than this. Anyone will do that. But if I cannot feed my children and give them water, the last thing I can think about is how I'm going to get out of this situation if my babies is telling me that they're hungry and I don't have nothing to give them. If I'm saying I need a job and there are no jobs. So, again, I'm saying this. Since all of the black nations or African nations, majority of them have Muslims somewhere all around, I just want to put this on your mind. So anyways, when I looked up Sambusa, the Indian version came up first. Not the Ethiopian version. Hint, hint. On Google, okay? Next, I want you to realize Arabic, Middle Eastern nations were in the same positions as African nations. Same place. They over there fighting. Yeah, in Africa, they fighting too. But a lot of places in Africa are not sustaining themselves. There may be a couple over there in the Middle East or somewhere where they really not able to have jobs like that. But I don't think that food and water is an issue. If you ask me. I haven't heard one person who told me food and water is an issue. Okay? Now, there are some around this world, but not as many that are in that continent, with the masses being black. But yet, here comes Indians, here comes Asians, here comes Arabians coming over there saying, my brother, can I build over here? Can I have this? And then the African leaders talking about, yes, you can. Why? No. Nobody can build nothing until all of my people have enough food. And until enough food is growing on this land and water is being produced on this land, you can't build nothing. Help me build these pipes. Help me filter this water. I see you have solar systems. I see you have water in the healthcare system for your people. I see you are creating food, be it genetically modified or other. Hell no. So I said that to say, you don't have to defend any one race. Okay? But you do have to pay attention to the whole picture. It's not a white-black thing. It's a black and everybody thing. Are there allies within every race and ethnic group? Of course. And we would be negligent to say that there is not. But we in 2019. Don't interrupt my conversation with such foolishness, because you will be ignored. I'm not having a toddler conversation with adults or teenagers, because we all know that. So just know, if ever you choose to come and talk to me and rebuttal anything I'm saying, with such juvenile responses, you will get ignored.